truck kind of thing. But on the other hand, if I feel that if I leave it as is, I don't have to worry about it, for one, and for two, I'm not going to get as much attention. I would hope. Like, I think I'd get more attention if I had some wrap on it or some shit like that. Oh yeah, new weapon would be fantastic right now, that's for sure. Like, I'm not doing horrible. I'm not taking a day to kill something. It's just that it's not as fast as it was. So it's kind of like, man. Those Toyota hydrogen cells are gonna be wild. By wild, do you mean vaporware? Wasn't sure if you're being honest or if you're being sarcastic. To me, it's like anything that turns water into a fuel source is a bad idea. Because what needs water? Like, everything needs water. Everything. So we already have enough heavy dependency on water. Why would we want to add more things to be heavy dependent on water? Like, fuck. Give EVs a few years? Give EVs a few years for what? Well, I think what's going to matter the most is electric highways. There's an electric road in I think Sweden, and then there's also an electric road. I don't know if they ever finished it or not, but they have an electric road in Michigan. Ironically, I'm wearing a Michigan shirt right now. But in Michigan, they have a mile long road that provides wireless charging. And my Model 3, my Tesla Model 3 does not have wireless charging capability, but the Cybertruck does, and so does the Cybercab. And then in theory, I would assume that the Robovan will have wireless capability as well. I mean, if the vehicle is staying at a percent or getting enough to charge a percent while on the road driving, I think that kind of paves the way. The other part of it is if they can make the roads wireless charging, then technically they could do all of the like any parking lot, right? If parking lots still exist by that time period, then any parking lot could be a charging fairway. Motherfucker. And in my opinion, parking lots should also have sunshade above the cars, but still on that every little bit. Well, there's that aspect, but then there's also the grand scheme, and the grand scheme is that there wouldn't really be parking lots anymore. But then people would get kind of they would argue the factors of like, I want to own something. Because realistically, if Tesla gets the Cybercab to fruition, there would be people that have like 10, 15, 20 Cybercabs, and then the people that don't need to own a car, they'd be like, well, a vehicle is just an expense, so I'll just pay whatever fee per mile instead, right? If you can have a vehicle pick you up anywhere in the United States and drive you to anywhere in the United States at any time, do you need to own a vehicle?
You saved my life.
Wait, whose life did I save? I wasn't even paying attention. I was just killing shit. And die already, Jesus. Because, like, for instance, right, I want a Cybertruck, but I think the Cybertruck may be the last vehicle I ever own. From a personal ownership standpoint. It may come to the point where, like, the Cybercab comes out and I buy a Cybercab and just have it do its job. As a passive income standpoint. Dude, fucking A, just die. Sure, I believe that service is called Delamain? What do you mean by Delamain? Okay, you need to quit fucking reviving shit, because you're annoying. Oh, I gotcha. Come back here and die. World boss spawning and whatever. Oh, let's go try and fight the world boss. Blip. I mean, it's just something to think about, right? If it ever comes to the point where you actually have more or less 24/7 capabilities of taxi always being there for you, are you going to pay X amount of money per month to have a car payment? Or are you going to invest that money into retirement? Or are you going to invest that money into early retirement? There's so many variables that come into play when you have that opportunity. 13 minutes? And then there's the other bigger factor of life. The other bigger factor of life being that the Tesla robot Optimus. It'll get to a point where that will be the functionality of that will take over every physical job and every mental job. And what's left for humans to do job-wise? Well, there wouldn't be anything left for humans to do job-wise. So then what would be the next requirement? Well, the next requirement would be basic income. Some European countries have it where if you don't work, you get a basic income. And that income is guaranteed to you regardless of your situation or what's going on.
I can break that down. Rare to have something so fine.
Maintenance, insurance, the list goes on. Yeah, exactly. I mean, 100%. Because you got your car payment, and then you got your insurance payment, and then you got your maintenance. Thankfully, I haven't paid in 45,000 miles. The only thing I've paid for in terms of maintenance is tires and windshield washer fluid. Well, actually, no. I have so one set of tires, windshield washer fluid, and a cabin air filter. Those are the only maintenance items I've had to replace. Or replenish, however you want to look at it.
We the pod, huh?
Is the car holding up quality-wise? It's doing good. It's doing great, actually. I mean, the fact that when I got it, I lived in Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo, or not Fargo, but North Dakota, Minnesota are like the worst in the winter aspects, right? And I ran the factory tires down to like, I had like 24 or 25,000 miles on the tires that came with the car when I bought it. And then that's when I started experiencing some traction issues. But then you go look at the tires and they're bald. They were bald as hell. And got those replaced. And then didn't have any traction issues anymore. Winter-wise, it's amazing for the simple fact that the car's always warm. So the factor of like being able to plug in at places, because with traveling you go to hotels a lot. Most hotels will like, if you ask a hotel, they'll be like, yeah, you can plug in for free. I've only had one hotel ask to charge me, and they wanted to charge me like I think it was like $5 a day or $10 a day or some shit. And I said, fuck that. And I went and I charged at the nearest charger that was across the street, and this is in Wisconsin, and I saved a shit ton of money. by doing that, because the rate at the charger across the street was better than the rate that that hotel was offering. But every other hotel I've ever been to was always free. And some of the nicer hotels actually have like destination chargers, so you can get like 7 kilowatts or more per hour for free. And then if the vehicle's like if you set a preconditioned time, essentially like the time you want to get on the road, then the vehicle will warm up the battery and it'll warm up the cabin. It'll heat the seaters, it'll heat up the steering wheel, it'll heat up the windshield wipers, it'll do all those things for winter to ensure that it's as comfortable as possible when you get in the vehicle. All cameras in the vehicle are heated, so every camera that the vehicle utilizes does have a heating element to keep it at least uncovered from snow. The only thing you run into is the rear camera gets covered in debris. I mean, what rear camera on what vehicle doesn't get covered by debris? I mean, every vehicle I've owned. Yeah. So there's that aspect. Snow-wise, driving-wise, didn't really have any issues that I could think of. But you can tell with how quickly the input changes on the motor. Like, it's hard to explain because it sounds like I'm making shit up, right? It sounds like I'm making shit up, but I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. I driven rear-wheel drive vehicles most of my life, and I've had open differential where it's a one-wheel wonder, and I've had track lock, and I've also had a locked rear differential, and I've driven in all of them. And there's just a certain characteristics that you can understand when it's starting to kind of handle the snow, when it's starting to work with the snow a little bit. In the rear-wheel drive in my current vehicle, it seems to handle snow discomfort quicker than you normally are used to, if that makes sense. Because even in the 2020 Escape that I had that was all-wheel drive, it would handle snow just fine, but you'd get a little bit of a kick out or something like that before it would start kicking in to handle it. Versus if you didn't have anything disabled in the Model 3, you would get, unless you're like hitting it, unless you're hitting it hard, you're not going to get any kick out, which is really nice. Because most vehicles, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, you'll get a little bit of a wiggle, right? You'll get a wiggle at the stoplight, or you'll get a kick out or something like that. I don't get that with the 3. It just goes. So that's what I'm trying to put into like a difference aspect. Even though it's only rear-wheel drive, typically rear-wheel drive cars, you'll get a little wiggle, and then you'll move. Or rear-wheel drive vehicles, I guess, in general. So I don't know exactly what it is from a full technical standpoint. It's just something that I think is handled better. They don't have to be my favorite car or brand, but those companies are changing the world, period. Feel like it or not. Fair point. Everyone that talks shit has no real reason to even not like Tesla or Elon. I would also agree, a fair point. The fact that he's willing to try... I'm assuming he meant the fact, not the fat. He's willing to try new shit, and like we talked about the other day, his vision is something I can get behind for the most part. Yeah, no, I agree. I've also been watching his the Pennsylvania rallies that he's been doing, and seeing how he handles the Q&A sections, because like the Q&A sections are probably what I'm interested about the most. I don't care about the whole go vote blah 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 bullshit rhetoric. I care about his viewpoints in the aspect of like, asks a question, takes a little bit to cycle the answer, gets the answer out. So it's I do like those aspects, because it for me it just reinforces the aspect as to why I gave a shit back in the day. Okay, there's no inline twin turbo V6 pushing like 450 horsepower. That's all-wheel drive. Oh man, turbo. Twin turbo. Twin turbo means you got boost lag. Bi-turbo means you don't have boost lag, depending on how they design it. Because I had a 2004 Audi A6, and it was an S-Line, and it was a bi-turbo V6. It was a 2.7 liter bi-turbo V6. And then I got it tuned, and then I want to say the tune quote was like close to 380, 390 horsepower, but the foot-pounds of torque was like close to 450 or 460. It could do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Like it could do 0 to 60 consistently 4 seconds flat. It was a good car. I'm trying to think. I think that was my first vehicle that I had heated seats. It had heated seats in the front and heated seats in the rear. And I mean, you know, circa 2004, that was a pretty damn cool thing. It was also the first vehicle I had that had the turning headlights for the turns. And then Audi being Audi, they had the windshield washers that popped up in front of the headlight jets that popped up and sprayed the headlights. Ooh, a DeVille. Oh yeah. Yeah, good times. North Star V8. Yeah, I'm quite familiar with the North Star design. It's somewhat close to the Panther, or known as the Romeo design. Well, let me rephrase it. Panther being the platform, Panther platform being the Crown Victoria, and like the Lincoln Town Car. And then you also had the Mercury Marauder. The Mercury Marauder had the supercharge offering that was extremely rare, and all of which were the 4.6. Because Crown Vic was the Romeo, which is a 4.6, and then the Mercury Marauder was the 4.6 supercharged, and then I think the Lincoln is just a naturally aspirated 4.6 Lincoln Town Car. And then there was a Mercury Marauder, but then there was also the Mercury Grand Marquis. And the Mercury Grand Marquis was pretty much a copy of the Crown Victoria. Those Marauders are still sexy. They are. Very, very rare to see one nowadays, but they are quite nice cars. I used to be very active on the crownvic.net forums, and got to meet quite a few people that did manual 5-speed conversions on their Crown Victorias, which is fucking sweet. Freaking awesome, man. And then the other forum that I was a part of was the Upper Midwest Panthers. Upper Midwest Panthers was I think it was like a 5-state or 6-state region. And I hosted one of the events in Minneapolis at Porky's, and we had, I think, 38 members show up. I used to really be into vehicles. I used to really be into vehicles. I mean, engine rebuilds, fucking port and polishing heads, rebuilding a transmission, changing up the differential characteristics to go from like to go from 327 to 355. Or no, 327 open to 355 with track lock. Yeah, man. But then I bought a Tesla, and then I gave all my tools away. For free. I took, oh man, I took probably a couple 100 pounds worth of tools, and loaded them up in the bin at Savers. They're like, whoa, you want a voucher for this? I'm like, no, have at it. I don't need this shit anymore. Like I got a 5-ton floor jack. I got a tire patch kit, electronic device for putting air in the tires, and various socket wrench sets that match all the socketable parts of the vehicle. So yeah, I mean, I have like the basics that are needed for the Tesla, and I have the basics that are needed for doing things in the house. Because I mean, shit, when they did the upper control arms in my driveway, or not in my driveway, in my garage, because I was getting noise on the on like the front end suspension, and I put in a service ticket, and then they came out to my house. They backed the Tesla van up in my driveway, and I opened the garage for them, and then they went and did their business while I worked. And so they replaced both upper control arms under warranty while I was working. And then they updated me on the phone app and everything when it was done, and so I could go and close the garage. And yeah, it was freaking sweet. And doing both upper control arms took them about an hour and like 15 minutes. Like it wasn't that slow. It was pretty damn quick in my opinion. It's a whole ass night and maybe morning trip to the parts store at cousin Rob's. Well, I mean, I don't know how much work you've done on a vehicle, but by far my biggest pain in the ass, I had a 2014 Ford Taurus Police Interceptor, and I had to do the rear brakes on the damn thing. But the rear brakes, the way that the rotor works is the inside of the rotor is the e-brake. So you get the rotor, and then you get the e-brake inside. Well, the e-brake was seized to no fucking belief. And we tried a torch, we tried all kinds of things, and eventually it was a torch and a gear puller together that we finally got that damn rotor off. Thankfully, I was replacing the rotors. I got so much shit because people, a couple of my friends when I was working on it, they were like, why the fuck do you need those brakes? I drive pretty aggressively. I am dropping frames like mad right now. And it looks like we're back from dropping frames. Yeah, I dropped like 4,400 frames just a moment ago. But it wasn't on my end, it was just connection aspect. But what I was trying to say is So the rear brakes of a 2014 Ford Taurus Police Interceptor are rotors, but in the rotor is the e-brake, which is a hub. And so the e-brake was so damn seized that it took a blowtorch to heat it up good enough and a gear puller to pull the hub off. And then once I got all that off, we actually warped some of the old rotor because of the fact of like how much stress and how much work we had to put in to get the damn thing off. But like I said, thankfully I was replacing them anyways. I was replacing all the brakes and replacing all the rotors, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about it. That was by far the biggest pain in the ass ever. And then the shittiest job that I did on a vehicle is we were rebuilding the motor, and we took the heads off, we took everything off, we sent the heads to get them ported and polished, and then we looked under the vehicle finally, and then lo and behold, there's frame rot. And it's like, well, shit. Won't matter if we fix the motor. Fucking, she's gonna drop right where your feet are. Because it's like, yeah, you can make the motor all good, make it all happy and everything like that, but the frame rot right where the kick panel is, your feet are gonna go through the floor, and then the car is gonna do like let's say this is like the front end right here. The car is gonna do this thing, or it's gonna go blip. Oh man, that would suck. Fuel pump in the DeVille was like 25 minutes. Pop trunk, take everything out including carpet, pick silver plate off, disconnect ship pull sending unit, and replace. Was amazing. Oh yeah, reminds me of there was a chunk of pavement that they scoured out in the town, one of the towns that I used to live in, and I didn't think it was that deep, and I guess I was going a little too fast for how deep it was, and I scraped the bottom of the fuel tank on the road. And well, $400 later, I got a new gas tank. And then as soon as I got the new gas tank, I sold the car. And ironically, I didn't make a profit in the grand scheme of it. I didn't make a profit because I had to pay for the gas tank. But if I didn't have to buy a new gas tank, I would have made a like $800 profit or something like that. Because I bought the car for like $5,000 and I sold it for $5,850 or something like that. Hey, Grand Nemesis, welcome. My sister hit a dead deer on the highway, like ran it over, and the car was all right. No damage, but underneath it was a bit fucked up. Sold the car a week later. I had a similar situation. It was about like 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a semi truck in front of me, and I was like 2 or 3 car lengths behind the semi truck, and it didn't have a trailer. It was just the cab. And they must have hit a deer, and they hit a deer. This is like 2 a.m., dark as shit. And when they hit the deer, the semi truck went like this. You know, it tilted a bit, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It was dark, so I didn't know what happened, other than I saw their lights move. You know, the taillights moved a bit, and then I see this object, like dark object, come flying up, and my headlights hit it, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Because it was a deer carcass doing this number. And I nosedived and hit the brakes, and the deer carcass hit the wraparound push bumper on the Crown Vic, and then the deer carcass went under the car. And when I went over it, it was a big enough deer that it made me kind of lift up a bit. And after that happened, we got to my destination. I got on the vehicle with a flashlight, and you could see the entire back of the deer was all peeled down the underbelly of the car. And that took me like fucking 4 hours to get every chunk off the bottom of the car, because the car was heated. It was like 80 or 90 degrees out. So it was all kind of like melted to it. And I was just like, fuck. But I got it all off, and I was happy about that part. And then when the deer hit the push bumper, it twisted the push bumper, which kind of sucked. But it didn't twist it bad enough to make me have to replace it. I was just like, I just bent it back into place and called it good. There's that. Exhaust was bent. Was on the only thing you could see on the passenger side was in more, and the driver's side was sticking out. But then again, it was a North Star with 90 miles on it at the time. Fair point. She tried to hide it from me one day. Noticed the duals were bent. Got on like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I hit a deer. At least it wasn't a skunk. Thankfully, skunk doesn't bother me. Like skunk smell, it doesn't bother me at all. I know it bothers a lot of people that I know, but to me, it's one of those few smells that doesn't bother my nose. And as for the most recent deer hit, damn, was it? I think it was around last November. Last November, I was doing about 25 miles an hour in town. And a deer came over a guardrail and just plopped into the front fender well of the Tesla. And I think that was about $3,150 for the repairs. And the biggest cost of the repair was replacing the front headlight. That was like $1170 just for that front headlight. Because what happened is when they hit the headlight, it dislodged the high beam. And so I think, do I have a... I'm playing Diablo, see? Yeah, I don't want a Cybertruck whatsoever. Nope, don't want one at all. This was in Rogers, Minnesota. These are all customer orders, meaning these are all ready for delivery. Just putting that out there. Had skunk spray in the shed a few years ago. Took 6 months to get most of the smell out. Oh man, yeah, no, I understand that. That shit's not fun. In here maybe? Donkey headlight. Deer flu. Do. Yeah, I'll be really happy to not have to paint protection film a vehicle anymore. Because when I had to paint protection film this shit, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I did the entire front end, so like the hood, the front bumper, the side fenders, the mirror caps, all that shit. I paint protection filmed them all, and it's just like, I don't want to do that again. And it makes sense to do it on a Tesla because fucking this is what it looks like after like one road trip. It just becomes a pigsty. That's one of the pictures when they were doing the work on the vehicle, because they have to get in right in this area. They have to get in this area where the shock tower is to get to the upper control arm. And you can see right here, where this one, the upper control arm is in there, right there. And then there's the new upper control arms that they put in. Like I said, they did it all in the garage, and I was like, fuck yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so, one of these doesn't look like the other. So that's what happened when my vehicle got hit by a deer. This right here is the high beam. This is the low beam. This is on the low beam setting, because what happens is the high beam acts like a fog light when the low beams are on. When the high beams are on and the low beams are on, then the entire high beam enclosure lights up. Yeah, there's actually a picture of the scuff. Yeah, I don't see a picture of the scuff. Oh, I guess there's the most recent damage in my car, which kind of sucks. Gotta love when someone hits a parked car. I was parked at my mom's, and a vehicle came head on to my vehicle and, like, in my opinion, intentionally scuffed against my vehicle, and then they pulled behind my vehicle to check their damage, and then they took off. And I have it all on video, and they got a hefty fine for that too, so don't hit a Tesla, you idiot. Got cameras. I hate Pirelli. They suck. And then there's the whole, like, look, Ma, I have full self-driving. Look what I can do. I can summon the car to me. And here it comes. And there's no one inside. See? There's a seat right there, but there's no one in there. Crazy. I actually used that. I used that yesterday. Yesterday when I went to Walmart. Okay, so we got to Torment 2 from the pit perspective. We need to. Like Goodyear run flats. I've never used run flats on a personal vehicle, but I have enjoyed them on a Humvee, and I have enjoyed them on a police vehicle. $351 per tire on the Wagoneer. Fuck. The Pirellis were like $1,080 for all 4 tires. I didn't like Pirellis on my Audi because I had a sidewall tear out, and then these I don't like because they're loud as shit. And normally you don't give a shit about how loud a tire is. until you don't hear anything else. Then you're like, fuck me, this is loud. Did you get them on the Caddy or Vogue? Sweet. He fucking launched me across the room and then he died. Cool. Yeah, I should like switch from critical damage and focus on vulnerable damage. Oh, I must have took a wrong turn. Whoopsie. Oh my, wow, I am so blind. But back to the other topic, the Cybertruck topic. There was a time, Cushman, that I thought, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, I could set up donations for the Cybertruck, right? I could set up donations for the Cybertruck, and if people donated $1,000, I would make it a point to visit them with the Cybertruck. I was like, what the fuck happened? I'm like, oh, I'm frozen. I know it's probably not as like valuable from like a standpoint of what you spent to what you get. But I thought it would be a nice thing to do. Because I mean, shit, like if you or anyone donated $1,000 to help pay for the Cybertruck, I would guarantee that I would visit those individuals in the time period that I plan on taking off. Because I've already laid out that if I get one, I am taking at least 3 weeks off. It doesn't mean it'll be all together, but I will be at least taking 3 weeks off for a massive road trip. I really hate those fucking purple shits. Oh no, man. You better give it some CPR. I was replacing it on my desk. Nice. it dies, it dies. Yeah. For me, my synology right here. If one of those discs dies, I think I have like 2 or 3 spares on hand, just in case. Jesus. Who's that? Jenny Jens. Jenny Jens, I salute you with a mighty mug of potato. Thank you for your continued support and your sincere generosity for a total of 82 months. It's really appreciated, and I thank you and I salute you. Go that way, so intelligence, then the damage.
Let's go.
And yes, Grand Nemesis, if I ever get to the point where I do get a Cybertruck, I'll definitely do my best to make a pit stop again. Wife saw a bear in the ditch one evening last week, a few miles away. But I mean, I guess to me that makes sense about the area that you live in, Grand Nemesis, because I mean, you guys are a little ways out there, and it's beautiful forest and woodsy area.
I forge more than horseshoes and nails. What do you need?
Since you were talking tires, I had to look mine up since I will need some new ones this winter. Only $470 each for the truck. Well, that's actually not that bad. I mean, I think the last time my dad bought tires for his truck was like $630, I think it was $630 a tire. That's the other thing. Fucking, if I go the route of a Cybertruck, then I gotta buy super fucking expensive tires. Yeah, that sounds fun. Oh, essentially reset all tempering charges on a weapon? Oh, interesting. Yep, might as well start spilling it with a Y. What do you mean by spelling it with a Y? Oh, fancy tires. Well, the other thing that I was definitely waiting for to see is like, because what is it? Fucking, there's that possibility that there will be an EV tax credit. There's a possibility there won't be an EV tax credit for the Cybertruck. So I need to wait for that come to fruition, per se. Need to either pay off my current vehicle or get to a point that my current vehicle has positive equity. And once it gets to positive equity, then I can start thinking about that aspect. God damn it, kill that fucking shield fucker. God dang. I think I want another set of the same. Really good in snow. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. If you got a good pair that works. Oofda. I seriously killed everything. Oh my, I'm like, did I kill everything here and I still didn't fucking get far enough? Oh my gosh. Woofda. Those things wouldn't hurt. Fuck you with your bullshit. There's like, is there anything I could like take from? It's like that's another 40% node that gets boosted to 66, and then that gets boosted to 33. Need more damage. Ah, Nemesis. I saw that you tried so hard. We appreciate your attempt.
Not a bad pull, that. Shame that. Well, there's something special. All finished, are you?
See some steel you need?
I get rid of that.
What's left, you ask?
Oh shit, man, you lost potatoes. There you go. Let's see if you see if you get some goodness out of that. Just trying to use the pit to continue leveling up the glyphs. Where are we at? 1300? What's that at? Was it, I think it's like 30 something or some shit like that.
Potato run results. Followers of the potato, defiled peelings of shade, dreadfully despised grand underscore nemesis.
Well, we did good, man. We did good. At least we went together. Shit. We tried and lost together. shit. It was right at the end right there. I was like, God dang it. Hoofda. And again, just remind everyone, the reason why I'm streaming tonight is I had a chiropractor appointment tonight, and I have a chiropractor appointment tomorrow. So there's a possibility I may not feel 100% up to streaming tomorrow. So I'm streaming tonight just in case I miss tomorrow.
More there than I thought.
Big old boosty on the stinger size. Woo-wee. Trying to get some Helltide progress in. Holy shit. That's actually pretty damn nice. Too bad I'm not in the market for either one. A 0% interest rate on a new Model 3 or Model Y, as long as you have a term up to 60 months and requires a minimal down payment of 20%. If I wanted to get a Model 3 again, then that Model 3 option doesn't look that bad either, because Model 3 available only for a 36-month term. Requires a minimal down payment of 20%. The Model 3 does qualify for the $7,500 tax credit. I mean, yeah, the payments would be high, but you'd have the car paid off in 3 years. I mean, shit. Cool stuff.
Wouldn't have made it without you.
Hey, man. I just want to hit a 1000 massacre. Oh yeah, I did it. I feel good now. It's not like it actually meant anything. It was just a. It was just like a thing of like, oh hey, I did that. Alright, so we did that. That's a Legion event. I think I need to participate in one of those for the fucking season stuff. Please don't be. Aww. Also, please don't be late, but then I'm late. Don't see another Legion event available. At the moment. Poopity poopity poo. I need strength in close proximity. So I need 15 strength at least. To unlock her, I guess.
You dare return to the land you betrayed, Variana? Receive the flesh.
The severed hand.
Not much gets past me.
I think this is just a normal, like, mini dungeon. Not related to the quest, but I wasn't sure. Works for me. What is my run speed even at? 184? Huh?
Here. This has to be the entrance to Grelkar's feasting hall.
Yeah, this has to be the entrance to the feasting hall.
Grelkar can be made to reveal where Zolmarg is. Grelkar! Where is your master? They're still awake. Where Zolmarg is? Tell me!
What is it you're doing?
My people have a ritual. It can tell me what I must know, but it... Just be quiet.
Ariana, what's happening? This is... it's too much. You don't need to do this to yourself.
Don't look at me. Zolmarg, Tyrant King throne of bone, king of flesh, made flesh. Zulmog, anointed in Guran. Zulmog in Guran. Guran. We go to Guran now. Make haste.
Okie dokie, making haste.
Guron streets will be thick with Zulmog's sycophants, all on the lookout for threats to his coronation. But if we get our hands on a boat, we can enter the city by the docks. Far fewer eyes than the main gates.
She's pretty damn cool. Though, ladies and gentlemen of the stream, we did make some progress today. That was a good thing. You know, progress is good. But it is 10:05 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So I am going to be calling it a night. I do want to thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have yourselves a wonderful rest of your evening, and sincerely good luck for tomorrow. If I get a chance to stream tomorrow, I will. But it may be a possibility that I will not be able to stream tomorrow, so I will update the calendar as soon as I'm aware, and we'll go from there. Other than that, thanks you again, and take care, everyone. Bye for now. Doodles.
Yeah, you know, sometimes my head just speaks up, and it's got a really feminine side, I suppose. What can I say?
Well, I'm glad to hear that you have a soft spot so you can be empathetic to others.